Good, Coach.
Come on, guys.
Okay, I'll try again. Obviously, that was disappointing. A lot of credit to them. Made two huge plays down the stretch. And I just told our team, and I want to make sure I say this, like there's no such thing as close losses. I already know a lot of people say, just another close loss. As I said to our guys, like we can be a really, really good football team. To think that we were minus to turn the ball over 4 times, to think that we turned the ball going over in the half in the end zone, to think that we turned it over twice in the last 2 minutes of the game, and they still had to kick a walk-off field goal, really shows what I think we can be. But the defense was dominant for long stretches, stopped the run early, turned it into a drop-back game. We knew that their quarterback was really good for them, made some plays, including the final play. But, for us, this is the first game, and we saw the things that we need to improve upon. We had a chance in 2 minutes. We have the ball at the 50. We need to go down and win that game, right? They played man. We got to, scramble with the ball, throw the ball away instead of had a pick. So no one's gonna feel sorry for themselves. We're not feeling sorry for ourselves. It was a learning experience that we have to overcome. So with that being said, I'm sure you guys have lots of questions. I'll go ahead and take those.
How would you evaluate Jeff's performance tonight?
Yeah, I'm not prepared to. Obviously, as a quarterback, you can't have those turnovers, right? Even right before the half, kind of an odd sequence, right? Either it's a touchdown or it's a false start. Kind of weird how that happened, right? But I thought he had some really good moments. He had some key throws. Especially in that 2-minute drive, moving us down the field. Obviously he ran for over 100 yards. He was a dynamic threat in the zone read game. But you have to protect the football, right? And so back foot throws and all those things. That's not what we need. We don't need that. I was prepared to go to overtime. I thought Sat did a really nice job. Called some runs, got a couple first downs, turned it into the last drive. So we're going to go down there, take a shot at a long field goal, or go out. But this is a first step for Jeff, and we'll coach him, and he'll come back. I thought the fumble. With 2 minutes left, like we're gonna go try to run the clock out. We're running the ball for 6 yards. Unfortunate that happened. So
you evaluate the end of the first half. You're down on the inside the 5. Would you do that differently?
I don't think so. With 11 seconds, I wouldn't kick it was 8 seconds. They moved it back to 11 seconds. Obviously unfortunate that we had the penalty, right? The ball's in the 1 foot line with 2 timeouts. I mean, you can't ask for it any better than that, right? One of the tales for today was the penalties, and a credit to them. Great student section. It was loud. We had a couple false starts down there. All things in game 1 you want to try to avoid that we didn't avoid. And so that, eventually that we all have to improve that. But with 11 seconds, we're gonna take a shot. It's not open. We were hoping the quarterback throws the ball through the back line, and we kick the field goal, take the points. I was really proud, though, of the team, right? We came in, we said, it's 3-0 at halftime. Is that going to affect us? And we went right back down there and we scored, right? We returned the kickoff with a great play by Ramir. We ran the play, the double reverse pass. We scored a touchdown, and hey, we're off and playing football again. So I thought we showed resilience in that moment.
I know Anthony was running tough on that play before the fumble. Had he been doing better with the fumbles as camp was finishing up? I know you said the one late in camp that had been an issue.
Yeah, he had the in the scrimmage. He fumbled the football, he fumbled it a couple times, and so we know that Anthony can make a ton of plays. He has to protect the football, and especially in those moments, right? We're in 5 points. It's in 2 minute, 4 minute. Everyone on the team knows how we want to run the football. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And Anthony tried to fight for more yards. Credit to their guys. So saw the replay up there. Came in and punched the ball out. That's championship football, and that's. They made the play at the end that we needed to make. We couldn't make a play at the end, and they did. So, in terms of Anthony, I'm never going to throw a guy under the bus. He feels terrible in there, but there were a lot of plays we could have fixed better.
Another reason why he's in. Why is he in at that moment? If you had seen that concern throughout camp.
Yeah, Coach EJ put him in. Thought he was going to break that run. He runs that run really well. I thought he made a good run. It's what happened, right? I want to be careful not to say anything that makes me feel like I'm taking a shot at Anthony. He's worked hard at his ball security. He ran the ball a lot last year. Hindsight's 20/20, but that was the call that was made. Coach put him out there. I thought he made a good run, made a guy miss. He had some good runs. Unfortunately, didn't hold the football. I think for us, we trust the players to go make the plays, and unfortunately, we didn't make that one.
I know that Jeff Sims is asked to do hard things, and he's a great athlete. Did you ask too much of him tonight with all the running that he had to do, and then some of the things that you were asking him to do in the past game?
I don't think so. He is a dual threat player. He's going to run. he wasn't running quarterback power and getting 3 and 4 yards. I mean, he was coming out with some big runs and had a chance for some more big ones. So when you have a guy like that, you have to let him spin. I think one of the big things was just some of the penalties. We only had 3 drives in the first half, and some of the penalties. One was a long drive. We took the ball in the second half. We took it the last drive. We took it from the 10 and went down and kicked that field goal. So, I thought we put some things on it. But he's one of our more dynamic playmakers, right? And he like all quarterbacks just can't throw the ball off his back leg. Especially in that situation there at the end. He knows that situation. We'll go back and look at it. What could we have called differently for him? But make no mistake, I have a ton of confidence in Jeff.
What kind of a spark did Marcus Washington give you in the second half?
Yeah, it was good to get Marcus out there. He loves to play the game. IGC went down. Looked like maybe it was a serious injury. I don't know. We're going to wait to see. So it was good to see him get out there and fly around. He's healthy. He sat the first half, came in the second half. And, moving forward, I think he'll be a key contributor for us.
Is there a reason he sat in the first half?
Yeah, he was suspended in the first half from the summer, just for, nothing disciplinary, just academic concerns.
You mentioned the end of the first half with the penalty and the review. Did you get an explanation before you left the field for the locker room of why they marked off the penalty if they reviewed the play before the penalty?
Yeah, I got in in the second half, and basically it was that we got on the ball, we false started, they stopped it, so it wasn't a play. So then they had time to then review it. So they looked back. So it was difficult. I mean, they didn't have the O2O in the second half. They couldn't talk to each other. So at the end of the day, we just can't false start. You know what I mean? We have to get that ball across the goal line. But I thought that drive was a precursor for some things to come, in terms of what I think we do well. And I thought that's how we were going to finish the drive at the end of the game. I thought we were going to push the ball down there and make some things happen.
Did you anticipate Jeff running it 19 times tonight?
Well, some of those are sacks, right? College football and all that, But we knew that we had some plays that was like a counter sweep one way and a quarterback run the other, and so they just kept giving him the ball, so he kept pulling it. So we knew he'd be explosive in that regard. How many of the sacks and scrambles, I don't know, but in terms of called runs, we had one play, the zone read with the pull, we called a couple times, but he did scramble some and drop back.
You held them to 55 rushing yards. I mean, how would you evaluate the defensive performance, and coupled with that, the Ty Robinson targeting, how big a loss did that prove?
Yeah, Ty's one of our best players, and so obviously we'd like to have him out there down the stretch. We played a lot of guys to be fresh for the fourth quarter, and we were expecting the fifth quarter, we were expecting overtime, So I thought the defense, played really well at times, but, this is a team game. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, we're not going to go down the path of that we had a chance on defense to stop it on fourth down and end the game. We weren't able to do it. I like their demeanor. I like the way that they kept taking the field. And as I told them, no one feels sorry for us. We got to just be a little bit better next week, grow from this.
One or two more. Matt, how do you, this is a game that unfortunately looked very familiar to, I think, most of the Nebraska fan base. How do you convince the locker room this is 1-1? This is not same old Nebraska. We're going to move forward from this and we're going to get over it.
Yeah, I don't even, that's kind of what I said at the beginning, like, we're on the front end of something that we're building. And, I think at the end of the day, when you look at, to be able to rush for that many yards, and I know some of them are the quarterback, but they give you 11 eligible receivers, 11 eligible players, right? You can use who you can. I look at it the other way, to think of the mistakes we made, to have 7 penalties, to have the 4 turnovers, and still, a good team like Minnesota that averages 9 wins a year have to, kick the field. Now, we have to fix it. We have to get better. But I'm not even thinking about anything that ever happened before I got here. It has nothing to do with me. I don't want our players to think about that. I'm thinking about what's next. I'm thinking about getting back and watching this tape tomorrow. I'm thinking about next week. And, we've got to generate some more yardage and points on offense. We have to be more efficient. We have to be better early on. We were they were converting third downs. We weren't. We got better. We needed to play this game. We need to come back and figure it out. And I think you'll see a team that just gets better.
Other than those mistakes that you just mentioned, is this the exact type of style of game you envision playing?
Well, we knew versus Minnesota, we knew that there wouldn't be a lot of possessions, right? We knew, the kind of the way they play. Typically, that it's been like 34, 35 minutes time of possession. I think it was right at they were at 30 and a half, and we were at 29 something. So I certainly didn't envision the 7 penalties, and did not envision the turnovers, right? Like, that's not what I thought we would do. So, but I knew it'd be a close game. I knew it'd be a battle. They were top 10 defense in some categories for a reason. And we knew it'd be a challenge. If we don't turn the ball over, if we can fix the penalties, I think we have a chance to be a little bit better than we were tonight.
Your touchdown throw from Sims to Bullock, not exactly as you scripted it.
Yeah, we call that play. That play's called Osborne. It's for a coach. Ron said he likes trick plays, and so we knew we were going to call it when we got to the 35-yard line. So AG threw it back to Jeff. Unfortunately, it was a bad. I don't know if it was a bad throw, or a bad catch, whatever's on the ground. I was hoping he was going to pick it up and run it, but he was wide open. So, I just think that when we go back and watch the tape, what we're going to see is a lot of plays like that, a lot of opportunities like that. We had an RPO on that one. We went 3 and out on that one drive. Tommy Hill ran behind everybody. We took a shot, couldn't get it to him, right? Then we come back on the next play. We have an RPO to Billy Kemp. He's running right down the middle of the field, wide open. Ball gets batted. So, it's my job and it's our job to show the guys, like, hey, these plays are here. You're not a bad team. These plays are here. We got to go make them. But again, lamenting and feeling sorry. Some guys the game was over, some guys started running to the locker room. I stopped them right there. We're the University of Nebraska. Like we everything we do in a first-class manner. We hate that we lost. We're disappointed. We're disappointed that fans saw us lose. But we're going to come back. And so, yeah, I think there were some opportunities there that'll be there moving forward. We just got to make the plays.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Ramiro, you made a hard right cut there on that kickoff return to start the second half. I'm guessing that was a little off schedule, but it worked.
Yeah, it was supposed to go to the left, but I saw it was kind of cluttered over there, so I just looked at the right side and took it up the sideline that way, and what happened.
Did you sense that got the team going after the end?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The sideline was jumping, and there was a lot of energy on the field after that play, for sure.
How do you guys feel about opportunities that you left on the field tonight?
We just can't beat ourselves. We got to go back tomorrow, watch the tape, and fix what we need to fix, and come out next week, better.
What do you see in the locker room from guys? I mean, I know there's some veteran players like you have been a part of a lot of tough losses, but this is also a new era, as Coach Rule was saying, and it's just a start of something new. How do you look at it as a guy who's been around?
Yeah, we just got the mindset of what's next, you know what I'm saying? Some people are sad, but we know we're a lot better team than what we are, and like we said, we're going to come back tomorrow, watch the tape, and then just get things we got to get fixed, and come back next week and do what we got to do.
Ramiro, what would you say was the feeling around the offense on the last 2 possessions you had the ball? Both of those drives could have won the game, and they both ended in turnovers. Is any of that related to just some of the disappointment that you guys have experienced throughout your career, or have you truly turned the page?
Nah, I think things just happen. We just can't beat ourselves, and we gotta protect the ball, and that's like the most important thing when it comes to winning games and winning drives and stuff like that. Gotta protect the ball, so we just gotta be better with the ball.
What's your sense going into the game and now after the game of the running back rotation? Because all 3 of you seem to play almost equal reps. We kind of had a sense that maybe one guy was ahead, but it didn't seem that way tonight. What's your understanding of when you're going to play and how you're going to play?
As coach, when we started practice, I'm not sure how the depth chart works. We just, when coach say you in, we in, and then we just go like that. So, it's a long season, so we'll see what happens, but we're just going how we going, and that's just the rotation as of right now.
What did you see from Jeff tonight as the game went on, and what kind of a role do you guys have as teammates to keep them feeling okay?
I mean, it's game 1, you know what I'm saying? That's still my quarterback, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of games left, and I know he's going to have some big games down the line, so we're going to be good. We're going to be good.
Anything else from there? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So when the play comes in, it's Osborne. Do you know that's going to you? Is that kind of the plan?
Yeah, no, we practiced that all week. So when that play was called, I kind of expected to be open like that. So, I mean, just going back to training, what we've done all week, just expecting it and just making the play when it happens.
How long did it take for that ball to come to you?
It was a while. I mean, it was, up there. So I wasn't nervous or anything, but it took a while to get there.
How were you able to stay engaged in that play when you see Jeff drop the ball before he picks it up?
Oh, yeah, no, I saw Jeff drop it, and then I saw him look to Isaiah coming over, and then I kind of threw my hand up because I don't think he saw me at first. But, I trusted Jeff because he had a lot of time, or he was pretty open. He didn't have anybody around him, so I trusted him to pick it up and be able to get it to me.
Alex, a pretty accomplished Minnesota secondary. What did they do to make things tough on a receiver?
They're very physical. 27, he had a great game, and we knew he was a great player coming in. But I think we matched their intensity. I think we played well with them. But they credit to them, they played well. Just unfortunately for us, we couldn't get it done tonight.
This has been a whirlwind couple of months for you, I'm sure, and I'm sure it's disappointing tonight. I was hoping you could just reflect a little bit on the fact that you and your brother both started the Nebraska football game at the exact same time after both being put on scholarship.
Oh yeah, it's a dream come true. If you would have, 9 months ago before this coaching staff got here, if you would have told me, next season you and your brother would be starting game one, I probably would have been like, no, you're lying. But just all the work we've put in, not just the last 9 months, but for our whole lives, it's just kind of coming to light now. So,
Yeah, Alex, you and John are kind of the poster boys for the changes that have been made in this program, and how things work out for players who put in hard work. So, in light of that, what do you think after this game? How does this feel different, if it does at all, than losses you've experienced in the past?
We played. We had a lot of mistakes, but we had at points we were doing things well, and they played well, and it came down to a field goal. So I think that says a lot about first game. Usually teams make their biggest improvements from game 1 to game 2. Just went out there tonight, and we saw what we have, and so it's actually good because now we get to see what we can improve on for the rest of the season. We still got a lot of games left, so we're just gonna improve every week. So.
Anything else, Alex? Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Ladies.
them to throw the football. What did you guys do so well in the run defense that made them so wonderful?
It's just everyone being on the same page. We trained for it. We knew we had to stop the run, and everyone being on the same page, we were able to get it done and get them into throwing the ball a little more.
Did you get a sense they were confused by some of the movements you guys were making up front, and that helped you guys to get free for tackles?
Yeah, for sure. There's things about this defense that can make it confusing for the offense to see, and I think that definitely helped out.
How did things change when Ty went out?
Honestly, they didn't change. It was there's the next man up mindset. The other guys in the room were ready to go, and they played their hearts out, and it was really fun to see how everyone came together after Ty went out of the game. And the spirits didn't change. Everyone was ready to go.
What do you see out of this team? Just the spirit. I mean, it hurts to lose a game like this, but what did you see in the locker room from guys that I guess gives you hope going forward?
The first game, it's when you're going to make your most mistakes, and it's a lot to learn from, and we'll just get in, watch it, and correct the mistakes, and move on to next week.
Do you think some of those young guys who are playing some of their first college snaps stacked up around you? I know you got to look at the film, but what was your
I think some of those younger guys in the room played really well. Obviously, there's going to be things to fix, but we'll have to get in and watch it.
The pass rush was getting home a little more in the second half. What do you feel like changed that allowed you to get a little more pressure there?
I think it helped having guys to rotate in, keeping us fresh and ready to rush passer in the second half.
Is that a pass rush move that you had in your repertoire last year or 2 years ago?
What was that?
Was that a pass rush move you had in your repertoire a couple of years ago when you got that sack?
It's just like I say every time. They're just trying to get better every day, perfecting my craft, working every day.
What, if anything, did you sense on the final two drives? The momentum, or whatever did you see?
Guys were locked in. Minnesota's a good team. We knew we had to be locked in the whole time, and they were what they were.
Most of the second half, you guys were getting off the field. You had 3 and outs after both scores for the offense. Things seemed to be working. You had a sack that ended a drive. Was there anything at all on either side of the line of scrimmage that you saw changed on the last 2 possessions?
No. It's just no. No.
Anything else for Nash?
What do you have to tell your teammates now, especially a lot of young guys that haven't experienced this before, how to rebound and get going for Colorado?
Just get ready to work next week. It's we're going to watch this tape, put it in the past, and get ready for next week. We'll learn from it. That's.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nash. Questions for Jeff?
I know there's a ton to process from that game. What thing stands out to you most about the thing that you liked about what you did and the thing you'd like to have back?
We just beat ourselves. We just can't beat ourselves. We had 4 turnovers. And in the game you have 4 turnovers, and it's going to be a close one, so we just got to protect the ball, just play our football.
Jeff, what about this Minnesota secondary was challenging for you as the quarterback?
Credit to Minnesota, they're a good team. I just got to make better decisions with the ball. That's all I can say.
Is there anything they do that make things harder?
No.
The last interception, you're going for Marcus there. You guys are trying to get in position to kick a field goal to win the game. As you go through that in your head now, what did you see there, and what would you need to do different?
I just got to find a middle safety. He made a great play on the ball. It was a great play by him. I just got to protect the ball in that situation.
couple more for Jeff. Did you anticipate the game plan tonight, running the ball so much as you did? I mean, you were kind of like a Jalen Hurts, a single wing kind of guy out there at times. Did you anticipate that?
I never really anticipate the game. I just go out there and play. So whatever I'm needed to do, that's what I do.
How do you feel about that part of your game tonight?
I mean, it obviously wasn't enough to get the win, so.
Did you feel like Minnesota doing an excellent job of preventing your guys, especially in the first half when you didn't have Marcus, from getting open? It looked, there were a number of times you had to pull the ball down and run because there just weren't options for you to throw it. How did you assess that?
Like I said, Minnesota is a great team. You can tell that they're very disciplined on defense. Credit to them. They're one of the better defenses in the conference, so credit to their defense. But we just got to execute on offense.
All good. All right, thank you, Jeff. We'll bring Luke Reimer in and finish up.
Yeah, I thought we played good. I think our goal was to keep them under 100 yards rushing. I can't remember the final stat line, but I think we kept them under that, or if not close. But yeah, I thought we played okay on defense. Obviously, there's some things to clean up. Third down is going to be a big thing we work on this next week. But yeah, I thought the effort was pretty good.
How do you feel the difference maybe in the fourth quarter when you're rotating in as many guys as you did?
Yeah, they did a great job of rotating us in, so I felt fresh going into the fourth quarter. So it's a long season, so try to hold us, 12, 15 reps a game. That equates to a full game by the end of the season. So I think they did a good job of kind of limiting the reps.
Did you get a sense that Minnesota's offense was confused by some of the things you guys were doing, moving guys around, and maybe you were getting some players free to make tackles, and their offensive line just struggled to pick it up?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this defense is based on, is just a lot of movement, disguises. So, yeah, I thought we did a good job. There were some things we could always clean up, though. But, yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job for Minnesota.
How do you as a leader go about keeping guys' heads up? Guys who have been through this. The coaches haven't been through this, but there's a lot of players in the locker room who have.
Yeah, it's a tough loss. Obviously, we've been through especially those older guys, we've been through some tough losses and stuff. So it's just you kind of have a 24-hour rule, kind of lick your wounds and then watch the film, good, bad, ugly, whatever the film says, and you just take it and get back to work on Sunday for us. So yeah, kind of 24-hour rule, lick your wounds, and then we're back to work. And the leaders got to do a good job, me included, of keeping our head up. And this is the first game of the year. We got a long season ahead of us.
Is there another defender or two that got your attention for how they performed tonight?
Oh yeah, there was a ton. I don't want to just name names because I'm going to forget or miss one guy. But yeah, I thought the defense played great. There was a lot of young guys, offense and defense, that were playing kind of their first game. So that was really cool to see, and just what they brought to the table.
Can you speak to the guy who lined up next to you, John Bullock? He had not played defense at all in Nebraska before tonight, and his brother had not played offense, and they both contributed in a big way. What are those two guys, their rise over the last several months? What does that say about what's happened in this program?
Oh, it's awesome. Those two dudes. They're two of the most athletic guys on the team, honestly. So they just have to be on the field. They work their tails off. They do everything right. They're great teammates. I can't say enough good things about John and Alex. They're from a great, obviously from a great family. Their parents must have did something right with those two. But yeah, it's a blessing to have those two on the team, and they both did great things today.
All right, thank you, Luke. Thanks, guys.